Hi, I'm Joe Feeks, editor of Pig Health Today, and with me is Dr. Kim VanderWaal. She's an assistant professor at the University of Minnesota. Welcome to Pig Health Today.
Thank you.
I understand that you now have a $3 million grant for a 4-year research project on PRRS. What are you going to do with the money?
Sure, well, thank you. We're very excited. The project is in partnership with the University of Edinburgh and the Rosalind Institute there. So it's a joint project between their institution and the University of Minnesota to better understand how PRRS evolves and how PRRS spreads and how those two components interact.
And we've been looking at PRRS in this industry for a long time, but tell me more about the direction of the research and why this is important.
Yeah, so what we've really focused on in this project is how the immense genetic diversity of the virus is actually incredibly important to how it functions within our pig populations. So as most of us know, it's a very diverse virus with multiple lineages co-circulating all the time and constantly evolving all the time. So we want to understand how those dynamics are really important for maintaining the virus in the populations.
Now, this is commonly done in human medicine, correct? But is this new to swine medicine?
Yeah, so in human medicine, this concept of what we call multi-strain dynamics have been explored quite extensively, particularly for things like human influenza and some other diseases of humans, but we can actually tackle these issues much better in livestock. We have much better data in livestock than we generally do for humans.
So ultimately, what do you hope to get out of this? Because it's great to understand how the virus evolves. Would this help develop a better vaccine, for example? What do you see in the future?
Well, there's two components here. Certainly we think that immunity in the host plays a big role in the dynamics that we see, and that's both how the virus is adapting, how it's evolving, but it's also the immunity of the host is playing a role potentially in what strains of PRRS are able to be most successful in a given period of time based on what the host population is immune to. So if you're a virus and you are more different from whatever that population had seen previously, maybe you as a virus would be more successful at spreading. So we've really focused on those concepts, and those are very related to how we manage the immunity of pigs to limit disease spread. And so we're hoping that looking at how these different lineages of the virus behave through time, how they interact with other lineages of PRRS might really help us understand and maybe even better anticipate what the virus is going to do next.
How much variation do we see with the PRRS virus today?
So PRRS is amongst the most diverse viruses out there. Since PRRS was first discovered in the US in the early 1990s, I believe, we've seen about a 20% increase in PRRS type 2 in terms of the diversity of the virus. And that's particularly pertaining to PRRS type 2, which is the North American version of PRRS.
And is it constantly evolving?
PRRS is continuously evolving. There's recombination, genetic drift, which is just a more slow accumulation of mutations, and then there's actual selection pressures on the virus to change in ways that it can be more successful at spreading in pigs.
So in a perfect world, at the end of 4 years, where do you hope you'll be?
At the end of 4 years, I'm hoping that we're going to have a better understanding of how PRRS evolves, how it adapts, particularly adapts to immunity, both within the host as well as at the population level, and also how these components interact to influence and determine how PRRS is able to spread between farms, between pigs. So we're tackling this at multiple levels. The project has a great team, both here at University of Minnesota, as well as at the Rosalind Institute in Scotland, to tackle these problems, everywhere from doing in vitro and in vivo experimental studies, all the way up to looking at these things at the population level in the industry.
And what's the benefit of having two universities, one in North America, one in the United Kingdom, combine forces to address this issue?
Sure. So PRRS is not a unique problem to the U.S. It is a constant drag on production throughout, the major pig-producing areas of the world. So Asia, here, as well as in Europe, and so they have their own interests of studying PRRS within Europe. specifically our collaborators in the UK bring a great deal of expertise in modeling and bioinformatics and how to make sense out of the vast amount of genetic data that we have on PRRS, and how do we actually sort through all of that and find patterns and processes.
Well, it sounds like we've got some really smart people working on this.
I hope so.
Okay. Well, we've been talking to Kim VanderWaal. She's an assistant professor at the University of Minnesota. Best of luck with your research.
Thank you.